Hey, it's Whitney from EcoVeganGal.com for another Eco Vegan Gal Uncensored. I don't even remember when the last time I did one of these videos was, but it's probably been about 2 or 3 weeks now. But the purpose of this channel is to, just speak what I want to speak and speak what I feel like saying. Tonight I've been in a really meditative, thoughtful mindset. I really got supercharged after attending Expo East, Natural Products Expo East in Baltimore. It was the first time in a long time, since Expo West, which was in March, that I was around that many people that are working in the natural products industry. It was also the first time in a while that I have been around some of my friends, and in my field, I should say. I've been out in Massachusetts almost 3 months now, and I've mainly just been around my family and occasionally some childhood friends. But I don't even know what I've done like half this time. It's crazy. It's just like, wow, time just slips away. I mean, I've gotten a lot of work done, but I've basically been in the house like almost the entire time, give or take a few trips. So it's a good and a quote-unquote bad thing. I don't know. But it got me supercharged, and I feel really centered and focused, and I was able to understand some of the directions that I want to go in, and I feel like I have a lot more clarity and drive now, and I feel like I have a better direction. I don't know if I want to say it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Not that many people are watching this, but I decided that I'm going to move back to Los Angeles. I'm setting that as my intention. I don't know when it'll happen or how it'll happen, but I feel like it's time to go back. There's so many different things that have been happening lately that have made me feel like I should go back. It just seems like the right place. It feels like it's going to be a completely different experience than it was for me last time. But I spent most of the time while I was living there working in the film industry, and then a few years in the health and sustainability realm, and then I just kind of got burnt out. I think that I didn't really know how to balance myself, and I think I was spending a lot of time doing things that were draining my energy in the wrong ways. And I also wanted to explore something different, and my boyfriend Owen was living up there at the time, so San Francisco just seemed to make sense, but it just didn't click for me. Like, I don't feel a connection with San Francisco at all. I can't say that I necessarily feel a connection with anywhere specifically, but at least LA feels like I can navigate. And it's just like almost, like, I would probably say around 75% at least of my friends are there. So obviously it makes sense just from a personal standpoint, but professionally as well. I'm really excited for all the things that I've been working on. I feel like they'll be able to happen a lot faster in Los Angeles. So it's a benefit for me, and it's a benefit for everyone that follows Eco Vegan Gal as well. But I started recording this video tonight because a lot of times I keep feeling my mind drawing into some of the core concepts surrounding why I do what I do and my passions, and they start to emerge more. I often wonder, like, why I got attracted into this line of work, and it always comes down to wanting reality. In fact, I've always actually been really into that. Even when I was pursuing filmmaking, I always wanted to make films that were really realistic. Not necessarily documentaries, but just narrative films that told like true stories. I always felt kind of annoyed when I would watch movies and they wouldn't be realistic, even though sometimes, films are meant to pull us away from our life. But I really have always loved that realism. I think I've just been kind of like a truth seeker. And I think that's probably what really drew me into the eco-vegan world is it's like, well, like sustainability means taking care of the earth and being aware and having longevity for the planet. And veganism is longevity for the body, especially when it's done in a healthy way. And then, being respectful of other living creatures out there. I feel like those elements just kind of meld into a greater respect and connection with the world, and it's just something that we don't really pay enough attention to, I guess. And I'm just been really curious lately about why. I feel like I could completely get sidetracked by studying psychology and just researching this. So I try to do it in little bits in pieces. Right now, the Eco-Vegan Gal Book Club assignment is The Pleasure Trap, because that book has just opened my mind in so many different ways and made me understand things from a whole different perspective as to why humans do what they do, especially when it comes to food. And it's amazing when you look at life that way. And I just feel like, in general, humans are moving as far away from reality as they possibly can, which is so bizarre. It's like trying to go, like the mainstream, the average person is just like, everything is artificial. And yet nobody wants to ever know that what they're doing is artificial, whether it's artificial sweetener or an artificial personality. None of us want to do that, but yet that's so much around us. And the more I think about it too, it's like that whole artificial personality thing too. I'm really obsessed with that. It's like I get really annoyed when people are fake, or you can just sense that they're putting on like an act or something, or they're trying to portray themselves in a way that isn't really them. And I often catch myself doing that. I think we all do. It's hard not to, especially when other people around us are doing that. So I'm just really fascinated with it, and it's frustrating at the same time, because I feel like because artificial living has become such a big part of everyone's life. Even for those that don't want to be artificial in any aspect of their life, it's really hard to get out of it. And it's frustrating for me, because I do see myself having trouble escaping. I have sugar addictions, and I have addictions to salt and oil and all of that, and processed foods, and it's just so hard. I mean, the past 3 months, I really got sidetracked, and I'm finally moving back in towards eating a more whole foods diet that's very clean. But it's taken me so long to escape out of it, that pleasure trap, as they talk about in that book. So that's interesting. And other things that are interesting too is, and this has occurred to me today, I started running, and I've never been into running. I've always found it incredibly uncomfortable. I always kind of attributed that towards some exercise-induced asthma that I have. And to be honest, I'd love to explore that more, because I don't even know if I have that, or if that's just something some doctor told me and my mom told me, and I believed it, and I use that as an excuse. My mom has asthma, but again, the more I learn about health and environmental things, I feel like asthma is something that in many cases can be cured with the right diet and lifestyle, and I've noticed a definite impact and change within me. But I've also noticed that, and this is nothing new, but regular exercise itself can really strengthen your lungs, and you can train yourself out of exercise-induced asthma. But it's a challenge. And so I've been running off and on for a few weeks now, and it's a really interesting experience because it's not pleasant for me. I want to do it. I like the adrenaline rush. I love the endorphins, and I love the fact that I'm out running outside on these beautiful trails in Massachusetts. I have a chance to be outside, and I love the challenge of it, and I love pushing myself. But sometimes when I get out there and within 30 seconds, I'm annoyed that I'm running. So today I wasn't feeling that, but I always push through because I have these goals and I have to at least complete a certain amount of distance or time or whatever. And today I was really focusing in on my breathing. Yesterday I tried out wearing headphones and listening to music, and that was just weird. I love listening to music, but during this trail run in nature, it feels really off. So I returned back to no headphones, just being in nature and focusing on my breathing. And no one's around here. So today I saw someone with dogs briefly, but that's it. Maybe I'll see one person during my entire run, which is cool. So I'm out there and I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to have trouble breathing and my body's starting to feel sore, and I'm just focusing on breathing through it. And my right side of my body, I was experiencing a few pains here and there, and I was remembering in yoga they always tell you to breathe into it, breathe into the pain, and that'll relieve it. And I started thinking about childbirth, which is something I'm really fascinated with, because I really want to do a completely natural pregnancy. And I was thinking, wow, maybe if I can train myself through running through the pain and running through the struggle and just getting my body to a certain point. I kind of think of that as a metaphor. It's almost like pregnancy is kind of like a lot of a mental thing, right? That's a whole nother topic. But I started thinking, when it comes to childbirth, most women immediately decide to do a hospital visit and drugs, and some people even schedule their births. They do C-sections and all this, and childbirth has turned into this massively controlled artificial experience. And I don't know when I'll have children, but I know that when I do, I want to give it my all and try really hard to do it all natural. It's like that challenge there. And I was just thinking about that during my run. It's just so interesting how so many aspects of our lives people don't push themselves. I mean, it's a big deal that I even go out and run for someone that doesn't enjoy it and has trouble breathing during exercise. A lot of people never even get to that point alone. They can't even run a mile. I to be honest, and I hate to admit this, but I haven't been able to do a full mile running. I don't know if it's because I'm running uphill half the time. Maybe that's it, probably. But it's just interesting. It's like, wow, I can't even run a mile yet, and I know people that run 14 miles a day. But I just remember it's all about the training. And my point being is that you can train yourself to pretty much any point, but you have to push yourself and you have to be committed to it. And you can't fall into that pleasure trap of just tossing life away and living artificially. We were meant to eat pure foods, in my opinion, and to be active. And if we want true health, mentally and physically, we have to do those things. And it's so unfortunate that so much of our lives have just become the easy way out, whether it's giving birth or any aspect of life, or taking care of our bodies. Humans have looked for every solution to make it easier for us. And if you read The Pleasure Trap, it really does a good job explaining why. But it feels so sad. So I think that's a huge thing. What drives me is I really want to inspire and educate people and just remind them that life doesn't have to be artificial. In fact, it can be so much more rewarding and joyful, and just so many different aspects of life can be so incredible if we let go of the artificial things and focus on what is natural and what's there already. It's free, and it can be easy, it can feel good, and has so many long-term benefits to it. There's always going to be a cost to things, right? And natural things seem to take way too long to get the benefits, but the benefits last a lot longer, as opposed to these lives that most people are living where you get the benefits right away, but life can end up being a lot shorter. It's like, what are you going to choose? To me, it's always about longevity. It's always about the truth. It's always about purity in nature and anything but artificial. But it's a challenge. All right, that's my little download. I'll check in with you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.